Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we are back with another banging video. In this video guys, we're gonna talk about a report that is out about Sean Diddy Combs. Now, they're saying that Diddy won't face criminal charges after allegations that a rapper ordered hit on Tupac. No, this is a report from the Mirror. I've read it. And what they're basically saying is that based on the current outcome of that trial, that federal case, against Sean Diddy Combs that included Cas Ventura, they're saying because there's no racketeering connection involved, they don't see the need to go after Diddy for the murder of Tupac Shakur, according to a source. So the Mirror is saying that is what a source is telling them. Now, as you guys can remember, do you guys remember Keith D? Well, he's still in custody at the Clark County Detention Center. Keith D said that he was paid $1 million by Diddy to take out Tupac Shakur. Ever since then, he was arrested back in September of 2023 in connection with the 1996 murder of Tupac. Now, since Keith D has been in prison, he has been, found guilty for a jail fight that he's had. So now I'm wondering what is going to happen to this man, because this is where common sense comes in for me. And this is where my common sense is telling me that something is not adding up. Like something about this entire Sean Diddy Combs case is not making any sense whatsoever. Now, make no mistakes. I'm not saying that Sean Diddy Combs is guilty of the passing of Tupac, because I honestly don't believe he's guilty of that murder. We never know for sure. Now, when I talk about the Sean Diddy Combs cases, I realize that a lot of people get offended because I'm not saying what they want to hear. But the thing is, if I see something that does not make any sense, I'm gonna let you guys know, honestly, it's not making any sense. I'm not gonna build your impulse. I'm really good at sales. I could have done that. I could have manipulated you guys into believing a lot of shit that is not true. I'm really good at building people impulse, but I'm not going to do that, because at the end of the day, the only thing that is going to do is to affect my credibility as a content creator. So I'm going to let you guys know from the get-go that there's something so fishy about Sean Diddy Combs, and it leads us back to Candace Owens saying Sean Diddy Combs is a CIA op. They only raided his mansion to secure evidence against people, not to find evidence. Remember when Kanye West said Diddy is a Fed? That is taking me back there, because listen to this. Okay, so they are deciding that, listen, federal prosecutors went after Diddy. They only found him guilty on 2 of 5 charges. They're saying because no RICO case has been established, they're not going to go after him for the murder of Tupac Shakur. So they've basically cleared him on that. Now, if Diddy has been cleared on the murder of Tupac Shakur, what should happen next is that Keith D should be allowed to be out on bail minus that jail fight that he had. But why aren't we hearing anything about Keith D? Because if Diddy is innocent, it means that Keith D was lying on himself, which means that the only charge that should exist against Dwayne Keith D is for that prison fight that he had back in whenever he did it. So he has been in jail since September of 2023. Now they're saying they're not going to go after Diddy. I'm curious what's going to happen to Keith D. And I believe that, as I've said, Sean Diddy Combs is not responsible for the passing of Tupac Shakur, because If you guys have seen that video from Sloan Bella, I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about her because they're saying that the predictions did not come out as Sloan Bella told us they would have. But sometimes things are so complex that sometimes the information is not as exactly as we would want them to be. But there's one thing we all know for a fact that she has been right about, Sloan Bella, and is Sean Diddy Combs' day down, the month, the year. She also predicted something about 4 years. And if you look at what Diddy's legal team is now saying, Diddy's legal team, they're now saying Sean Diddy Combs will not get more than 4 years behind bars. When you look at the Angry Men podcast that TMZ has, they do it every weekend and they have actual attorneys. If you have been following that podcast, you would have known that they predicted the outcome of Sean Diddy Combs' case. So if they have been right a lot so far, I believe them when it comes to the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs. I don't believe he's going to get more than 4 years behind bars, right? So, Sloan Bella told us also, so back to Sloan Bella. Sloan Bella told us that Sean Diddy Combs is not responsible for the passing of Tupac Shakur, neither is he responsible for the passing of Biggie Smalls. Sloan Bella told us that Tupac Shakur's passing was a father-daughter duo orchestration. It was a political it, you know, and she said the perpetrators that are guilty of Tupac's passing, they will be held accountable and the world is going to be left shocked and speechless. So now that, federal prosecutors are saying they're no longer looking at Sean Diddy Combs for the passing of Tupac, everything is so questionable because I believe even though Sean Diddy Combs, has gotten that split verdict, why is it that you're still not investigating him for the passing? It can't be, because they didn't establish RICO over there, you're not gonna investigate any further? It's given lazy, it's given cover up, it's giving sellout, it's giving so many, there's so many questions, right? Providing that this report coming from the Mirror is factual. Also, if you're not going to investigate Sean Diddy Combs any further, and if he has been cleared for potential involvement in Tupac's passing, what's going to happen to Keith D? Why is he behind bars? Why aren't we hearing anything about any updates about his sentencing? So the only thing Keith D should be held on at this point is for that prison fight. We're hearing anything about Keith D? Absolutely not. So now you know who's invested. I am. Because if these people keep this man Keith D behind bars, but then say, we're no longer going to investigate Sean Diddy Combs, you know there's a cover up somewhere and they are being sloppy in the eyes of the public. But let's get into this report so that you guys understand where all of this is coming from and you guys have as much information as you need. Now, the Bureau, they're saying Sean P. Diddy Combs, who was acquitted on serious sex trafficking charges, won't be tied up in the ongoing Tupac Shakur case. After decades of uncertainty, officials finally made an arrest in the connection with Tupac's 1996 murder. Police arrested Wayne Keith D. Davis on September 29, 2023, and prosecutors got to work building their case against him. In the meantime, Clark County prosecutors entered into evidence a video of defendant claiming Diddy offered him $1 million to kill Tupac. So they're saying that video was entered into evidence. We've seen the video on social media because he was talking about it for some time. And many of us believe that he was just hyping himself up without knowing that it would have gotten him into trouble. Now, the report further states the accusation came as Diddy was embroiled in major legal troubles while being jailed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Diddy faced 5 charges crossed three federal indictments, including sex trafficking, conspiracy racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Diddy pleaded not guilty to all charges against him. Additionally, he vehemently denies all allegations of wrongdoing against him, including those alleged in civil lawsuits. He was acquitted on the most serious charges, sex trafficking and RICO, but was found guilty on two counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The judge denied a bail request and set his sentencing to October. After the major legal victory, sources indicated he won't be dragged into the Tupac criminal proceedings, letting him avoid more time in court, insider told the Sun. That prosecutors decided to sidestep Diddy's alleged involvement after the New York case decision was handed down. The source said Diddy will not be brought into this prosecution case given the complicated nature of the case and following what happened in his New York case. Certainly, if he would have been found guilty on all counts in New York, then Vegas would look at what to do with the $1 million order. So they're not doing anything with that $1 million order, according to them. So, that will not be looked at, but nothing about Keefe D. Now, they expressed concerns over finding a way to back up Keefe D's claim, considering multiple individuals previously connected to Diddy have expressed fear for their safety if Diddy were to be released eventually. The problem was always trying to find corroboration from a witness that this order was real. The subject of meeting Jennifer Lopez or even Cassie Ventura was out there, but it was deemed unlikely they would speak on this matter or even be useful in a criminal case, the insider explained. Cassie, who filed the first lawsuit against Diddy in 2023, was identified in his federal indictment as victim one. Upon his not guilty verdict in sex trafficking, she asked the judge to deny him bail. Her attorney, Douglas Victor, wrote in a letter to the judge, Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as to the community. The lawsuit she filed against Diddy was settled out of court within 24 hours with no admission of wrongdoing. He denied the allegations. So, that's where that report ends. So, they're saying that they're not going to go after Diddy following that case. So, if they're not going to go after Diddy, what are they going to do with Keefe D? Because if you're not going to go after Diddy, why are you going to go after Keefe D? Like, what is there you're going to go after, you know? So I want to see how they proceed with handling this matter as it relates to Keefe D. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled to see if there is an official announcement, because this means that there would be no need for Keefe D to be behind bars because you're not going to pursue Sean Diddy Combs. So why do you have Keefe D there for the prison fight? That I understand. So after he served time for the prison fight, how much time is that? When will he be released? Because if you're not charging Diddy, of course, you cannot charge Keefe D. But guys, I want to hear from you. Am I making any sense at all to you? Does this make any sense? Leave a comment below. While you're at it, do all you need to do on this video to support your girl. Peace.